The things I don't do to get some shots for you people. Yeah, they, just for you safety people, I made eye contact with both of them as they were coming up. Made darn sure they knew I was standing there. But there was about 5 or 6 feet of room between the two vehicles. So anyway, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I just, as I walked up, I was going to get a shot, and I saw that, and I thought, hey, let's try this. And looking back, I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, what we're doing, we're just starting corn harvest here. And yes, this is a Q&A video, so I will get to that in a second. I just want to explain what you're seeing here. This is a 16-row corn head and corn picker. And Kirk wants to do a video on this for other farmers to explain this particular head. There's more to it than meets the eye, I guess. So anyway, we're picking corn, and we're on a circle. And let me explain what a circle is here. Okay, what a circle is these irrigation circles, and this is real flat ground out here in western Kansas, of course, and roads are built basically 1 mile apart. Okay, so here's a road north and south. It's a gravel road, and it goes from the top corner down to the bottom, and that's 1 full mile. Okay, and then from east and west we go 1 full mile. So that's what they call a section. Okay, a section of land is 640 acres. Okay, now when you divide that in half, now you have a half section. Okay, that's 320 acres. You divide that in half, and you have a quarter section. Okay, that's 160 acres. Now, with that, you have that quarter section. Most of these circles are on a quarter section. Okay, you have 160 acres, and the irrigation circle, if it's nice and flat and there's no obstructions like a farmhouse or something like that, or ditches or something like that, or a pond, the circle will cover about 120 acres, and you'll have 40 acres on the corners. You have about 10 acres on each corner. Okay, so that gives you an idea how big these circles are. They're a half mile by a half mile, which is a quarter of a section. It's 160 acres. Then you've all heard the expression up on the North 40 or the South 40 or something like that. It's 40 acres. That'd be a quarter of a quarter section. Okay, so 160 acres divided by, or cut in half, is 80 acres, and half of that is 40 acres. So up on the North 40, that'd be that 40 acres or something. Okay, anyway, with that said, what we're doing is picking corn, and you can see some of these circles are quarter sections. Some of them are kind of odd shaped like this, and I picked this one, this particular Google Earth shot, is because this bottom circle is much bigger, but it's because the freeway goes through here, or the highway goes through there, and it kind of messes things up, and there's a ditch right here and everything, so they can't irrigate that. That's usually pasture land for cattle. Okay, and they'll put a different size. They do all the calculations to figure out what's the biggest area they can cover with a circle for the least amount of machinery or so. Okay, what's the most efficient way of covering this this land area? Okay, all right. The rest of this video will just be shots of what we're doing at harvest. Not a whole lot of explaining here, but just something to watch while we talk about Q&A questions. All right, so with that, let's get straight to it. If you're ever in Wichita and have some free time, stop by Academy Sports and say hello. All right, Jay, no problem. There will be a day when I'll be able to do that kind of stuff. As of right now, I can't. I don't have the time and the means to do that kind of stuff right now. But someday. All right. Wondering if Kirk puts a winter cover crop on any of his fields. Have you seen any large flocks of birds migrating through while you were working? I'm a birder and I have to ask. Not so much flocks of migrating birds. They're more over above the Mississippi and the Missouri River. They follow them. If you're over in that area, there's tons and tons of birds. Where I grew up as a kid, we're not too far off of the Missouri River. I mean, we weren't right on the Missouri, but a few miles, you know. And we'd see flocks of birds flying around pretty regular, but out here, not so much. Does Kirk put on a winter cover crop? No, he doesn't do that. What he leaves is like stubble, wheat stubble and corn stubble to try to catch some of the snow so it drifts up and stays on the field and doesn't blow off. The more stubble you have, the more water you can retain, more snow you can retain, therefore more water. Let's see. Sheldon, have you noticed any change in your subscribers since the accident and switch into more farming videos? I enjoy all your videos regardless, trucking and farming. Yes, I have noticed a decent size drop or whatever in the views and everything, and the ad revenue has dropped too because of that. I'll get into that here in a little bit later in this video, because there's a bunch of questions pertaining to, you guessed it, am I going to buy another truck? So I want to get some of these other questions out of the way first, and then we'll go to that. Stan, I hope you keep making videos about what you want to do, and it's your perspective and approach that keeps me from the and from the comments below, others too. Yeah, there's a group of people that will follow kind of no matter what I put out, I guess. They love the channel, period, and they'll follow, you know. It's a lot of the others that are more particular, I guess a lot of the truckers, I guess. And if it's not a trucking video, they don't watch it, you know. So it's kind of what do I do? Do I only put out trucking videos, or, you know, I don't know. That's my big dilemma right now, what I'm going to do. Grand Marius, do I ever get back to Dallas for the weekend? If not, does your old lady mind? Hear that? Old lady, I like that. That's funny. Anyway, yeah, I haven't been home in 5 weeks now. I've been up here in Kansas helping Kirk on the farm and doing trucking and hauling grain for him. That's the deal I made with him. He said, hey, I could sure use some help driving a truck up here during the summer and into the fall crops, fall harvest and everything. And I said, well, I'm not doing anything, so I'll work for you until that's over. Now, no, I'm not going to be a full-time farmer. This is just something I kind of need to do. I've made a promise. I would give him my word. I'd stick around and help him with harvest. So that will be over somewhere probably mid-November, in another month or so. At that point, I'll be going home, and I wasn't expecting to be up here as long at one time. It'll be almost 2.5 months before I head back to Dallas. I thought I'd be able to swing by a little bit more, go home every 3 weeks or so for a couple of days, kind of like I did when I was trucking, and it just hasn't worked out. And Pam's being very understanding of that. She kind of understands where things are at right now, and has been actually been very good about it. So I'll be home soon, honey. So anyway, yeah, I will be back in Texas and in around November, and there's more to come after that. I just have to do the farming. And that's one of the problems I'm having right now, is that's the only subject matter I have really to talk about right now. I have other things I could go and make videos of. I don't have the time. I'm just so darn busy. Put it this way, we worked 16 hours yesterday. We got up, we started working at about 8 o'clock in the morning, worked till after midnight, okay? I put in over 16 hours yesterday. The day before, I put in about 14 hours. Before that, 14 hours. I mean, they're really long days. I've been busting butt up here. That gives you no time to go do any other things. I'd like to go and make a couple of videos over in a few towns away that I have good ideas, but I just don't have the time to go get them done. So, okay, right here, Train Guy. Great start of the video and keep up with the good work. What is that boom arm they pulled in, and did it take a sample from the corn? Yes. What it does, the video that you saw here for this on Monday was, I'm hauling Milo, which is a grain, and it's going down to the ethanol plant, and they're going to use it for ethanol production. And what they do is they put a probe in there. That probe is a hollow tube, and when they put it in, there's a vacuum to it, and it sucks up a sample of the crop or the product that you're bringing in. They take it in and they test it for things like moisture and protein and test weight and things like this. Different places test it for different things. You take it to if you're taking wheat to a flour mill, they're going to test it for protein to make sure it has enough protein in the meat or in the wheat. The ethanol plant is more testing mainly for moisture to make sure they're not just buying a bunch of soaking wet grain and paying for water. They don't want the water. They're making alcohol, not water. So yeah, they're testing for whatever's important to them, but it's a sample. It's a probe sample. Everybody seemed to like the start of that video, Monday's video, the trucking part of the video. They really like it. I miss it. I wish, I'd kind of like doing that kind of stuff, the traveling and out on the highway and the dash cam kind of stuff. And that will be coming eventually. Just bear with me. It will be coming. I like the information from the farming videos. I'm a missionary in the Philippines, and I can show the people here how Americans farm. Keep up the good work. Yeah, American farming is a little bit different than other parts of the world. I think European farming is something similar to it, but yeah, farming in like Vietnam or China or something is probably a lot different than here in America. So, I love the farming video, Stan. How many acres does Kirk farm? And it's Kirk, K-I-R-K. Kirk, how many does he farm and what grains? He does wheat, corn, milo, soybeans, and sunflowers. This year the majority is corn. Most years the majority is wheat, but this year the majority is corn. Second would be wheat, then milo. Then he only had one field of soybeans, and he's got one field of sunflowers. If you remember the flowers video, I purposely spelled that wrong. F-L-O-U-R, flowers. Anyway, that was the sunflowers. That's Kirk's sunflowers field. It's right off I-70 there, and that'll be probably the last field we harvest. And I might not even be around when he harvests that. He has plenty of time to bring that crop in. It's not a time-sensitive crop, so I will probably be here till the end of corn harvest, and I'll probably be around early November, mid-November, something like that, and I'll be going home. Okay, X Ranch. Always interested in your videos, no matter what is in them. I didn't know they use milo in the production of ethanol. I didn't either. I didn't know much about ethanol. I had an opportunity to do a interview with the head of that ethanol plant, and we got busy farming, and I didn't have time to go over. I was going to go over on a Friday and talk to the guy and do an interview with him, and he's going to give me a whole thing, tour of the plant and whole 9 yards, and it all kind of fell through. That may still happen, but don't know. That's a possibility. Another part of that question was, are you going to buy a new truck and hit the road again? Hang on to the end of this video and I'll talk about that. Stan, can you tell us more about cab overs? Do you like them? Maybe you can tell us American trucking history. And I know the earlier cab overs were quite popular, but I don't understand why. One more question. Would you like to try one of Europeans' trucks? If yes, which one? The question on that is no, or the answer on that is no. I'm not interested in cab overs at all. They're unique to me because I've never driven in a European truck in any way. I don't know. I know there's a MAN. I think Volvo makes them. I don't know the manufacturers. I don't know much about European trucking at all. To me, a truck is a big hood. We had cab overs here in America. The reason we had cab overs here in America was length laws. At the time, in the 60s, 70s, what up through there were laws as to how long a rig could be. Your standard truck could only be so many feet. And the bigger the tractor was, the shorter the trailer would be. Hence, the less cargo you could haul. So what they would do is they'd stuff the engine back up underneath the cab, hence a cab over the engine, a COE, cab over engine, and they were called cab overs. And the tractor would be much shorter that way. Therefore, you can make a trailer a little bit longer to fit within the overall length laws. They rescinded those laws years ago, and because of that, nobody needs to have cab overs. Conventionals ride much better. A truck with a hood up front is considered a conventional. They ride much better, so why make a cab over? They don't need them anymore because the laws had changed. Let's see. Sandy Williams, hello Sandy. You make all kinds of comments, and I love your comments. You're an artist in your own way with words. Big Stan, you seem to have perfected the trucking video, and this one is superb. I really don't have a question, but I would like to say, whatever your future holds, whatever videos you make or don't make, I will always be your fan. Be good, Big Stan, and be safe. Well, thank you, Sandy. You always make these wonderful comments like that, so keep it up. It keeps my spirits up. Goat Rider, do you own your blue truck? No, that used to be my truck. I bought that brand new it's a 2009 Kenworth T660. I bought it back in 2009 or 2008. I ordered it from the factory. I spec'd it out. In other words, I ordered it, detail spec'd it out exactly what I wanted. And I had that truck for about 5 years, and it got wrecked in California. A container trailer fell over on it and crushed the sleeper. And I was about ready to fix it, and Kirk says, hey, what are you going to do with that? We talked a little bit, and he says, hey, I could use that truck as a farm truck. Oh, really? So what we did, we just took the sleeper off and turned it into a day cab, and he bought it from me. And I used that money and the insurance money to go out and buy my next truck, which was a 2015 W900 Kenworth. And I had that for about 2 years. Then I sold it, sold the trucking company, sold everything, and basically was going to retire from trucking and changed my mind and went ahead and bought the red truck. And that's where the big Peterbilt came from. Well, I had that for a little over 3 years, and then, of course, the wreck happened, and so be it. And what the future holds, not quite sure yet. Backwoods Northwest, do you enjoy over-the-road or local trucking more, and why? I like the over-the-road. I like the long-haul stuff. The local stuff is kind of neat in a way because you can go home. It's more of if you want to have more of a home life and go to the kids' baseball games and things like that, the local trucking is for you. Over the road, I like it. I like getting up and driving all the way across country, going to all the four corners of the country and seeing all the different parts of America, so the over the road is much more to my liking. Roll me away. Talk more about how you make videos, specifically the music and how to find it and decide to use, or what you decide to use, and mentioned at one time. YouTube licensing could go into more detail on that. That's a good video. I've made a video similar to that once before. I could probably do another one and give you another idea about how my thought process is, where I get the music and the process I'd use to make a video. That would be a good video for in the future. Of all the farm videos, you've not mentioned when or where you eat your lunch or dinner. I used to work as a farmhand during the Kansas wheat harvest, and my mother-in-law used to bring lunches and dinners to the field. We would sit at the shade of the shelter belt and eat. What do you have? What do you do in the eating department in the field and in the farmhouse? Dina, Kirk's wife, brings food out at the end of the day. In the morning, we get up. I usually brew a pot of coffee for my thermos and my mug, and I take that with me, and maybe I'll run down to the local convenience store and get a biscuits and gravy, or maybe I just get a pastry or something like that, and that usually tides me over all day long until evening when she brings meal out, harvest meal out to the field. If we're not in the field, well, she's got food at home, and I'm at Kirk's house. I'm staying at his house in his guest room, and So that kind of explains where I'm at up here. No, I didn't get an apartment or rent in a house or anything like that. He's got this huge house, so I just stay in the guest room down in the basement. And we will be going home somewhere in November. But what YouTubers do I watch, if any? What YouTubers do I watch? Wow. Let's see. I'll just read off some of them here. Of course, my friend Hobotech. I watch all of his videos. Gone with the Winds is one of my favorite. Veritasium. Adventure Van Man. He's lives in a van and travels around the country. I like watching his stuff. Smarter Every Day. It's another, like a sciencey channel, I guess. I touch in on Camo Dave somewhat regular. I don't watch every one of his videos because he puts so many videos out, but I watch, a portion of them just to keep up with what's going on in the nomad world, I guess. Let's see, Gabriella 9797. You gotta look that girl up. She is a guitar playing fool. Man, she's good. Gabriella 9797. Very, very good. Very good guitar player. Into the Mystery 13, I watch his stuff. He hasn't been putting much out lately, so but I still watch his stuff whenever he puts stuff out. Just Incredible up in Canada, I watch his stuff. My friends Tipsy Marlin, I watch their stuff. Enigmatic Nomadic, Cheap RV Living, old Bob, I watch him. There's a guy down in Florida. He's been building a cargo van, a Ford Transit van, cargo van conversions. I've been watching his stuff. I think he's just about done with that van, so I haven't watched much of it lately, but he was giving me ideas on my van. Today I Found Out is a really good channel. He also has another channel called Biographics. It's like a biography channel. Atlas Pro, very good. Fire of Learning. Let's see, My Old Lady's Cooking Show. Watch her stuff pretty regular. Don't get every video, but I watch when I see one, I think, ooh, that looks good, and I'll watch it. Cowboy Kent Rollins, I watch his somewhat regularly. He's a really good cowboy cook. He cooks on an open campfire. Matthias Wandel. Love his stuff. He's kind of into woodworking and all kinds of little problem-solving type stuff, making toys for his kids, the woodworking, that kind of stuff. Minute Physics is real good. Let's see. Pippi Peterson. Let's see. Long Honeymoon. I watch their stuff pretty regular. Vsauce. He kind of quit making videos, but he has really good old stuff. I think he went off to do more of a TV show kind of thing. I'm not quite sure what he did, but it gives you an idea. I like a lot of sciencey type stuff. I watch some of the what do you call it? The nomadic stuff, but I like a lot of the science. I like to learn stuff, so that's what I like to watch on YouTube. What do I miss most and what do I miss least about your old trucking job? the over-the-road trucking in the Red Pete. What do I miss most? Waking up in the morning and driving down the road and seeing this beautiful country and just, the open road. I love the open road. What do I miss least? Traffic jams, cops, way stations. Foolish drivers, that kind of stuff. All the stuff basic things that drivers love and the basic things truckers hate. It's come the same way. People want to know, when am I going to do some more cooking videos? Well, when I get a kitchen. I don't have a kitchen here. It's Dina's kitchen. It's Dina's kitchen. Enough said. She doesn't like other people messing around in her kitchen. We had it all set up one day. I was going to make a video with her cooking. We were going to make Amish casserole, and I'd never heard of that. What the heck is that? So, let's make this. So she got all the ingredients all lined up. That day, Kirk just happened to say, hey, we need to be out in the field doing stuff, so we didn't get home till about 11:30 that night. So we had a really late dinner, and supper, and I didn't get to film any of it. And it seems like every time we try to line things up, it seems to fall through. So it's Cooking video will come when I have my own kitchen again. So I don't know. That all is coming in the future. John Doe. So I have a question for you, Mr. Stan. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I'm finding trucks you might be interested in, but I can't find how to share them with you. That kind of surprises me because I have on the front of every video, I have my email address. Right during the Sasnak intro, you know, Sasnak comes across the screen in blue, and on the bottom, sasnakvideo at ymail.com, or at Yahoo, I mean. And it's on every video. I'm surprised how many people don't notice that. So, yeah, if you got anything, anybody wants to send me a message or get a hold of me in some way, send me an email. Okay? Simple as that. I know Sasnak is Kansas backwards, but why did you go with that name? Well, because I'm from Kansas, I guess. I've lived in Texas most of my life, but I was born in Kansas and was raised in Kansas until I was 18. And I joined the military, and they sent me to Fort Hood, Texas, and I liked it down there, and so I stayed. And that's where I call home now, is Texas. The Sasnak thing, I guess, was kind of a, I don't know. I guess when I was 18, I kind of turned my back on Kansas, you know, as a kid. Wanted to escape, you know, and go to the big fancy city or whatever, you know. Wanted to get out of Mac Davis. Happiness is Texas in my rear view mirror. Well, happiness was Kansas in my rear view mirror, you know. And over the years, I've kind of mellowed out on that, and I kind of have a fondness for Kansas now. And when I started the channel up, I'm trying to think, what do I got to name it? And I couldn't really think of it, you know, anything for a long time. And then it just kind of dawned on me. I remember there was a bar as a kid. I remember there being this bar in Topeka, Kansas. It was called Sasnak's. And I thought that was just clever. It's Kansas spelled backward. Kind of a funny little name, and it doesn't mean anything as far as, you know. If you name a video, a YouTube channel, Stan's Trucking Adventures. If you ever want to go do something else, that name doesn't fit. You know, Stan's cooking channel. Well, if you do anything else, it doesn't fit. If a cooking channel and you go off and do fishing, it doesn't fit. So, but Sasnak doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of like a nickname or a CB handle. It wasn't my CB handle, but it could have been. And I guess that's why I picked it. I don't know. It just kind of came to me one day. I'm like, haha, that's it. Duh, right there. So that's why I picked it. Oh, here's a good question. I can't pronounce your name. Mihalis Navarra. Couldn't you have removed your custom sleeper from your truck and install it on another one? If yes, why didn't you do it? All right. Yes, I could have. I couldn't have done it myself. I don't have the kind of tools that would have been needed. I don't have lifts. I don't have a lot of the impact air gun wrenches and all that kind of stuff. I would have had to buy the truck back from the insurance. They totaled it, and I could have bought it back, and I could have took that sleeper off. But you have to go find a truck with a long frame. It's hard to. There's not that many trucks out there, day cab trucks, that have a really long frame, especially a double frame that support all that weight. A double frame is a frame within another frame. Okay, it's double thick, double strong. To find that truck, you're very limited on what truck you could get, and it's a huge amount of work. Now, somebody that's in the business, that is in a salvage business or mechanic shop or whatever, and that's actually who bought it. I don't know the name of the shop, but there was a shop, a salvage shop, that specializes in this, buying wrecked vehicles and fixing them back up and turn around selling them. Okay, I think my truck will be eventually for sale again sometime. It might already be. I don't know how quick they're going to be on fixing it, but I have a friend of mine that knows the wrecker company, and he told me that the company that bought it planned on rebuilding it and putting it up for sale. I could have done it myself, or I could have bought the truck back, and it becomes a finance thing, a physical tools and place to work on it and knowing how to do it. Limitation for me, but also financial. It doesn't make sense because I would have had to hire almost everything done. Okay, I would have had to try to find a truck, and then if you already have a truck that's there that's wrecked, let's say, you take the sleeper off of that truck and stretch the frame and put this big sleeper on it. You know, you've already got the parts and everything. I would have had to buy everything from scratch. Had to hire somebody to do it all, and by the time you add everything up, it becomes worth. It's a higher expense than the vehicle's actually worth. It's cheaper for me to just took the insurance money and turn around and went and found another truck, and I've kind of been looking into that. So while we're on this subject, this is, I guess, where we're at now. I need to kind of touch this now. This is toward the end of the video, and I need to touch on this. Am I going to buy another truck? The answer was no. Right after I came up here to Kansas, I kind of decided, I've had 32, almost 33 years of trucking. It's time to go do something different. And the YouTube thing, I thought that'd be a pretty good little gizmo, or good career path, I guess. It's changing. And oh, Stan, you're way too young to retire. Well, I'm 55 years old, and when is too young to retire? My mom and dad retired younger than I am now. They were about 52 or something like that when they retired. You can retire when you've got enough money to make it the rest of the way. If you don't have enough money, you've got to keep working. If you've got enough money, you just pack it up and say, okay, I'm retiring now. I'm not retiring from life. I'm not retiring from work. I've just thought I'd retire from trucking and go try to find 33 years of my life dedicated to trucks. I thought was enough. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just go off and do something different. What was that going to be? Well, I was thinking I could get the van and go travel around in the van and do that for a while until Pam decides she wants to retire from her job, which might be a year, 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know. Whenever she decides she wants to retire. And we got to looking into it and kind of planning things out and figuring out when, why, and where, and how. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just get in the van after I help, take some time off working for Kirk, take some time off from trucking and just work for Kirk up here. Gives me time to think and soul search, I guess. And I thought, well, maybe I just get in the van and go travel around in that. And then I thought, that van's a little bit small. It's okay for vacation stuff, but I thought maybe I'd want a little bit more room. So I started looking into RVs, like a Class C RV. Well, the more I started looking into that, Pam's like, someday I'm going to be wanting to go with you. So then let's just go ahead and buy a large RV for the two of us. I'll buy it. I'll travel in it by myself for the time being and come home and see her, kind of like trucking. I'd drive out in the RV for a while and then come home for a while and go on the RV for a while and come home for a while until she decides she's ready to retire. And at that point, then she could just move her stuff in and we could sell everything and go travel around the country. And the more I got to thinking about it, well, life happens. I get into Kansas doing wheat harvest and fall harvest. I was working up here on the farm and everything. And the YouTube thing slows way down. The videos are still there, and I thought I was doing some pretty darn good videos. I was real happy with the post rocks. There were 3 videos that went together, and I had worked really hard. I worked for about a month on those 3 videos, going to get the shots and driving here to get that particular footage and all this kind of stuff. And I put all that work into 3 videos, and not that many people watched them. And it was a little disheartening. I'm out there driving a truck, and I put a day's worth of videoing in and about 2 hours worth of editing in, and I'd get 5,000 views, trucking video. I come home or come up here, don't have trucking videos, so I'm sitting there thinking, well, maybe I ought to make story videos. So I go out and make these story videos. I've worked for about a month on those 3 videos. And they didn't do very good. The first one did okay. The second one didn't do, the Volga German video didn't do any good at all. And then my father's father, about my great grandpa, that one did a little bit better. But the 3 of them together, you kind of work together. And if you didn't watch all 3 of them, you kind of probably didn't get it, didn't understand it. And the YouTube money had really slowed down. I mean, it's not dried up, but it really slowed down. And I'm thinking, well, if the YouTube money doesn't come in, that means I got to dip into savings. And I really don't want to do that. I want to keep that savings for my old age. And, well, what do I do? So I sit and thought about it. And a couple of weeks ago, I decided, well, maybe I'll start looking for a truck. So I started looking around for a truck and thought I found a couple of them. And I called on them, and I don't know, there just wasn't quite something right about this one. It wasn't quite something right about that one. And so I really don't know. I think what I'm going to do is another month up here in Kansas with fall harvest. And when November comes around, I'm going to keep an eye out for a truck. And if I find just the right truck, I might buy it and go drive for a few more years. If I can't find just the right truck, I'll probably go buy an RV and say to heck with it. I'm done with trucking and go travel around the country doing the story videos and hope the YouTube stuff, the YouTube money rebounds once I get to traveling. I'm suspicious, or not suspicious, what's the right word? I have suspicion that the YouTube's videos have slowed down, not the videos, but the views have slowed down because it's like farming and more farming and there's a lot of people who love the farming videos, but there's a bunch of people that apparently don't like the farming videos. And I'm thinking once I get in a truck or an RV, but as long as I get out moving and traveling again, people will want to watch a traveling video rather than a stationary tractor in a field video. That's my hope. So that's where we're at on the videos. I plan on working here for the rest of the, till about mid-November, and I'm going to go home. And at that point, I'll have to make, it'll be a crossroads. I'll have to make a decision. Do I buy a truck or do I buy an RV? And it's looking like I probably will buy an RV, but that's, like I said, if the right truck comes along, I'll jump on it. But if it's not right, if it's not just, man, this is just it, perfect, I'm not going to buy somebody else's junk. I'm not going to buy an overpriced, $200,000 rig. It'll be a used rig. It'll be similar to the one I had. It'll be a big sleeper truck, but it won't be brand new. It'll be a 10-year-old truck or something. It'll probably be an 07 or older because I don't like the emissions. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think I'm going to, give it another month. If that right truck happens to come along, great. If it doesn't, then we'll start shopping for an RV, buy an RV, and probably be at the RTR in my brand new RV. One way or the other, I'll be at the RTR in a brand new semi, or new to me, a used semi or a used RV. So that's kind of the only definite I can give you right now. We'll just have to see how it all unfolds. With that, y'all have a good one, and wish me luck on this. And like I said, I hope everything kind of turns back around once I get to traveling again. So with that, y'all be good. Ciao.